No, just well, maybe. Yeah, turn your volume off. Yeah, guys. Hey, look, don't worry. If I can't get my computer doing it, I'll at least read your questions from my wife's laptop right here. So we'll get it. We'll get the chat, the live Q&A session done one way or another. So unfortunately, sorry about that technical difficulty. But all right, here we go. So this is it's a truth and clarity Q&A. And why are we doing it? What's the need? Well, there's been 4 years of defamation, malicious, and so many ways ridiculous defamation against me. As soon as I began, when I found Veterans for Child Rescue and began arresting child predators and making convictions and prosecuting these guys and putting them in prison, boy, the haters started coming. And I'm like, okay, well, we expected that because we know that the Muslim Brotherhood, the DNC, the globalists, the Marxists, the Satanists, the pedophiles, and child traffickers were going to hate what we were doing arresting child predators because we're disrupting a $38 to $50 billion a year criminal enterprise. Look what we're doing, right? We're disrupting their power base. So we knew that there'd be that. So I'm not worried about the trolls that have no name, no face on their accounts, just a throwaway account, 2 or 3 followers, if that. Those we just click ban and delete like any other professional organization has to do, just to keep the comms clear and all the riffraff out of the way, the automated bots. But then I started seeing that there was a need, a genuine need by some people who they weren't being malicious. They were just perhaps less educated or struggling mentally or not having the skills to really do an effective internet search. And they're like, man, I'd like to find out how to empower myself with more knowledge. And so I realized I see a real opportunity here to help people and share some tools that I've learned through the intelligence community, federal criminal investigator training course and experience and things like that over the years on effective search techniques. If you're just doing it online, how do you get more out of your search techniques? How do you find out truth from fiction in this world online, right? It can be difficult. So I see a real need, and I'm going to empower people today with some tools on how to get a more effective search and how to differentiate the riffraff and the clickbait and the frauds and all that from what's factual reality, so that there are a lot more people a lot better informed and grounded on factual reality out there. And it's really the chance to do some good, even among a really nasty, attempt to try to stop me and our organization from saving children and arresting child predators. So there's good in everything, folks. If you just look for it, I mean, I'm wired to fix things. So we're going to get into this and do some good. And then we're going to open it up to a live Q&A, and I'll take people's questions. Keep your questions short and to the point of trolling, clickbaiting, fraudulent online, gang stalking. That's what we're here to address and expose today. And we'll get into it. We'll expose a lot of what's going on out there, and it'll be a lot more clear. You'll be able to understand the factual reality of what's happening. And that's a good thing. Okay. So this whole, I want to read off some of my notes because I took the time to prepare this. And if I don't go to my notes, or sometimes if it's a longer video, I'll inevitably miss something that I really wish. I'm like, man, that was really important. I wish I would have put that out. So I'm just going to line through as I go through and make sure everything I want to put out gets handled. So it's not normal, folks, first of all, to attack people that are doing good. So there's your indicator. People that are attacking a group of veterans that are arresting those that harm children and putting them in the way, you already understand something's wrong with that, right? I mean, it's just inherently, it doesn't make any sense. So this whole opposite game of everybody's the opposite of what they live their lives doing is kind of a really sick thing, but it comes from somewhere. It's evil. It's satanic. And we'll get into why and exactly how it is, but it's projection. It's a radical leftist tactic to project upon to your opposition what you're actually guilty of. So child predators and pedophiles hate Veterans for Child Rescue because we're out to defend children from them. And so they need to discredit us and stop us from doing what we're doing, because we're out to eradicate child trafficking in the United States. We're out to safeguard children and make sure that this widespread predation and destruction and torture and murder and sale of children like there's some kind of property is put to an end. It's ungodly, it's horrific, and we're gonna shatter it with every tool that we can rally to our support. So these people that are attacking our organization and mission and my name are in opposition to what we're doing. I mean, that's the side that they've put him on. So there's one strong indicator. Some of our bots and trolls, electronically generated. They've got not think tanks, but they've got basically sweatshops of people that just sit online, politically paid, and they'll attack. Whether they're attacking Donald Trump, no matter what he says, or, then he's guilty of Russian collusion. They do that, and they just try to wallpaper the internet with this garbage. Some of it is that, and you can see those accounts. They'll have very few followers, and usually no real name, no family or anything to demonstrate on their social media account. It's just a quick throwaway account that they can create in minutes, and if they lose it, it's no loss, right? So that's kind of the nature of those accounts: nameless, faceless, almost no followers, throwaway troll bot accounts. And so, I'm used to that. So that doesn't bother me. I just delete and ban those, or my staff does it. And but it's the people that are stuck in the middle. They're like, man, I'd really like to learn more. I don't know if all these accusations I'm hearing about all different things with the Evergreen ship and the underground bunker wars and all this. I don't know if it's true or not. Craig, how do I find out? So I'm going to give you some tools on how to find out. And it's important that we speak the truth and we eliminate that which we find out and can prove to be absolutely false, because falsehood and disinformation harms the real cause. It harms the truth. It does great damage. It's not just funny and entertainment if they're portraying it to be true. So we've got to eradicate that falsehood and these frauds and eliminate them from our source database that we're getting information from. Once we realize that they're putting out absolute falsehood, there's no point in going. There's no good in going to that source again. If it was just fiction, morbid entertainment, that'd be different if you keep it in that box. But if you think that it's true, that's where it starts to do harm. So the objective of what we're going to do today is really just bring truth and light to shatter the darkness. That's what we're doing. That's the objective. So let's pray over it. Lord Jesus, we ask you, Lord, that you bring clarity and truth. Shine the sunlight on the real truth, Lord, out there, so that so many people that are struggling, that want to know what is real, what is genuine, what is happening with our country, what's happening with the children, God, that they would be able to decipher truth from fiction, reality from fantasy, Lord, and use some basic principles. Bless them, guide them. Let what I share resonate with them and help them, Lord. And let's let a good thing come from a really nasty attempt to undermine your mission for the children. In your name, Lord, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, we pray. Amen. All right, so let's get on with it. The first thing that we are going to do, I'm going to empower you with some of this knowledge. You're going to avoid being such easy prey to these clickbait scammers online. Some of these guys live literally just by putting out the most fantastical, freaky, crazy stories that they can, just so that you'll click on their YouTube channel or their BitChute channel or whatever they get chased off to. And they monetize those clicks, and that's how they survive. They don't need a lot of money. These people have lost their families, their jobs, because a lot of them are crazy, and they just they're struggling, and drug abusers and on and on. So they live by creating crazy fake stories online. The problem is when they bring in public figures to get attention. They'll bring in the term Navy SEALs because everybody wants to know what these, the baddest commandos on earth are doing, right? So they'll include Navy SEALs in all their stories, whether it's the Evergreen tanker or it's underground wars. Oh, Navy SEALs were there. Why? Because more people will click on it. It's just a cheap tabloid trick of riding the backs of real warriors that have spent their lives and careers defending our homeland. That's just these online frauds will just use that. tabloid, right? Space aliens, people are always going to click on that because it's more freaky and weird than the next topic. So look for those things and you'll start to realize what these people are doing. And that's what we're talking about here. A lot of these people have really been attacking our organization because they thought they could get away with it. And they didn't realize that the legal suits were actually coming and that one of them just lost a big legal suit, millions and millions of dollars that he's never going to be able to get away from. A lot of it's punitive damages. So he can't ever bankrupt himself out of that or escape it. And he's done it to himself. You are accountable for your behavior, folks, whether you are sharp enough to understand it yet or not. The long arm of the law will find you eventually. So some of these people that were attacking us are already quiet, and you should ask yourselves why, right? Because the next step for them is prison time. Okay. So then we're going to get into the question and answer. And I'm going to answer in good faith, folks, as long as they're honest answers and you want to understand what's the deal with a certain topic or accusation, I'll answer them here because I've got nothing but good to gain by shining the light on the truth because, I'm not perfect, but I'm up to some pretty honorable work and I stand behind it every inch of the way. And I'm surrounded by good people. And I think the truth, it's time the truth be told. And we address all these accusations and just share all the information of what the real deal is and let you guys realize what's actually going on, what the truth actually is. I win. That's how that goes. So I'm the man in the arena. I'm in true name, face. You guys know my family story. You know my organization, my life history. I've been surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands of people from the time I was born, school and church and Marines and SEAL team and Department of State and film and television, and now Veterans for Child Rescue. So we can go through some of these accusations and we'll share what the truthful factual evidence is so you guys can make the comparison and realize how ridiculous some of these clickbait hope porn predators actually have been. All right. So if you don't have a notepad, grab one. These are going to be some techniques that are genuinely going to help you with your searching out there. No matter what the topic is, these things are going to help empower you on learning the truth online. All right. There's more than just online that you should do when you're searching any topic and researching. But, increasingly, there's a lot more that we can learn online. So we've got to maximize the effectiveness of the tool that we have. So as a federal criminal investigator, I learned that you've got to build your case on factual evidence, not rumors. Rumors don't stand up in a court of law. Okay. So I've been a federal criminal investigator, I've been trained on courtroom cases, and I serve as an expert witness on capital murder cases as a ballistics forensics expert. So you've got to have your facts in a row. You've got to be absolutely accurate and careful. And when I saw some of these people online not knowing truth from fiction, at first I was angry at them and frustrated. Like, why don't you even understand that? It's so obvious to me. And I realized, you know what? I have been the beneficiary of a lot of training. I mean, I've been through a lot of professional careers over the years, and I have gained a lot of training and capability and knowledge from that. So maybe everybody that hasn't gone through those and gotten that, maybe they don't see so clearly. And I realize I do, my father was a very devout and sincere pastor and spiritual leader. And I watched him pray over people. And I saw him deal with people who were demon possessed and see the difference between people that were misguided and dealing in the occult and people that were in all kinds of danger and their minds were clouded and they couldn't see spiritually the difference between good and evil. And it was clear in my household because I was surrounded by that. Well, it's not fair. I was blessed to have that. It doesn't make me better than anyone else, just makes my experience different. And I was the beneficiary of that as a child growing up in that household, that environment. I could kind of see a lot. It made a lot more sense to me who was what was good and what wasn't, because I had my parents teaching me in my ear. So you see that, son, on the news? That's bad. These people are into witchcraft. This is a horrible crime family, blah, 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 blah. And I could start to see behind the scenes a little bit more. my blinders really started coming off to the current situation with a lot of the corruption in the federal government when right before Obama came into office. When he was campaigning, I was working, I was protecting some people in the intelligence community over in the war zone, and I was surrounded by people that had been part of a lot of major international incidents surrounding our national security, some national security heroes, legends, and they know a lot. And they started sliding me Post-it notes of things to research, and I started learning really at warp speed who was who, and a lot of it was very upsetting, eye-opener. But so it was right about a year before Obama became president when my eyes started opening. I started running around telling my friends and family, and they're kind of stunned, like, it's pretty overwhelming. You expect us to believe a lot of this stuff. Of course, from then till now, most of this stuff's common knowledge. The American Patriots know this because some of these people have been exposed, or cases have come out and witnesses and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so factual evidence, not rumors. Now, I used for my personal gain, I chose a model that picture 3 baskets, right? There's whenever you gain information, if you're researching or investigating, you're going to go through all kind of stuff, and you're going to gain a lot of different information. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it credible, not credible, some of it crazy. And what you do when you start sorting through all this information, I like to put it in 3 different notional baskets, or you can even put it in a file online. But I like to put it in a information that's proven, factual. Boom, this information is proven, and then this information goes into the file or the basket that is disproven. We know this didn't happen. This is not real, not true. And then everything else goes into a 3rd basket or file that is unknown. You just don't know yet. There's information there. It hasn't been disproven, hasn't been proven, but it's information that we have access to. So file the information as you get it and sort through it. If you can verify it, and all your friends and family were there, and they're like, we watched the thing with our own 2 eyes. There it was, okay. And they've got video of it, and you can touch it. And, okay, factual, that's proven. And then it's the same thing with disproven. And as you begin to sort through, you'll find that one of those baskets is going to become inherently more full than the others. And at the end of your investigation or research, that's going to be your best indicator of what the truth is. Now, we're never going to know all of the truth because there's so much to know scientifically and all the way down to the submolecular level, right? But what's your best assessment of the truth and understanding is going to come from the sorting process, and which one of these baskets of information, which one is like overwhelmingly more full. There's so much of this has been completely disproven. We don't have precious little. And the proven box, well, my best understanding is that that's not true, right? Or the opposite. Oh, man, of all this evidence and nothing to really debunk it, or it looks like this is true. So use that three file concept, if you will, or the basket, if that helps you. It has helped me, okay? So in your research, you want to do both quantitative, which is the 5 W's, all the questions, right? Who, what, when, where, why, how, for your quantitative research, and put all that together, and then compare that to the qualitative, and then compare that to the quantitative, which is how much, okay, the volume, quantity. And what's going on with this story, you can map it all out, all the facts and details. Well, how much of it? How bad is it? And those 2 types of thought process when you're researching are going to help you as well. In the federal law enforcement intelligence community, they rate the information source according to its accuracy over time. Accuracy over time. If there's no accuracy, you got no quality of source. And if you haven't been able to verify it again and again and again over time, then you really can't place that much credibility on it. But if it's giving you one piece of information once and it's 100% proven accuracy, you can be, wow, that's pretty good, man. but still it's not really proven. You know, like I don't know, like a friend. They're a good friend to you for a week, oh, that's great. But if they're a good friend to you for a lifetime, well, that's much clearer indicator, right? So use that with information sources that, you know, accuracy over time. What is their track record, right? How accuracy, what's their percentage of accuracy? That should matter as to whether or not you use them anymore as an information source. If they keep putting out bogus scoop, you're better off deleting them so they don't muddy the water for you and bring confusion. You want truth. You want accuracy. You want that which is proven and factual, right? But if you base your decisions on that, you'll always be on solid ground. If you move forward just as fast as you can with solid factual evidence, you'll never be embarrassed. You'll never have to retract your information, okay? And if you ever do put out bad scoop on accident, delete it. Or even better yet, if you've said it about someone and it's been harmful, say, hey, look, I was wrong about that. Here's the actual truth. Have the integrity to go back and accurate it like the news people are supposed to do. Search techniques. There are things called Boolean operators, and they're just words that you can add in your search, but it's really going to help you sort through the sea of information that's out there. And these Boolean operators are words like and, or not. So if you have two words and you put and, then it's going to include all the information that has both of those words in it. If you choose or, both of those words. Or then if you choose the word or, then it's going to pull up all the information that has topic content that deals with either of the words that you entered. And if you choose not, then it's going to delete or it's going to omit that topic, okay? So it just cleans up your search for you. And there's also a good way to omit is hyphen. And you put a hyphen right in front of, so it's a minus sign, a hyphen. Let's just say that Hillary was someone you didn't care to see on your feed. I don't care to see her on my feed. So you would put minus Hillary with no space between it. And then it would just omit Hillary from everything that you're searching for. So it wouldn't confuse your search, right? That's a good thing. So Boolean operators and, or not, and then use that hyphen to omit things. And use quotes. If you want words together, like, I don't know, I don't know, off-road trucking. If you put off-road trucking and you put those two words in quotes, then you would the only content it would pull up would be things that had those two words together, off-road and trucking, and it wouldn't come up with any things that just had trucking or some different kind of trucking or some sort of different off-roading. Okay, so the quotes around it are helpful. An asterisk at the end of the word. So let's say if you use an asterisk, if you write gun and then you put an asterisk, and that's the star symbol, all right, on your keyboard, then if you just use the base word like gun for an example, then it'll pull up all the other words that include gun, like gunslinger, guns, gunfight, gunsmith, and so on. Okay, so you can tailor your search to gather as much or as little or as accurate a search as you want. That'll really help you save a lot of time and cut to the chase. Okay, so now if we have people out there that can search and find factual reality, we're going to have a lot of people, which I love the American people. It's why I want them empowered, and knowledge is power. And this is how knowledge, folks. All right, it's one way, but these are some good tools to help you guys. Use multiple search engines. Be careful of Google, man. Look at who owns Google and look what their political stance is. They're hostile to the American people and our freedom and liberty. They're hostile to our Constitution that protects us. So I don't use Google search anymore. I use DuckDuckGo and some others. Use multiple search engines and And I like DuckDuckGo. That's a good one. And just beware of any leftist owned platform anymore, because they're dishonest. They're corrupt. They will hide things that empower you, and they will drive you to things that deceive you. It's really, really ugly what's going on against the United States. Most of you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know about Google and some of that stuff, but just beware. Pay attention to who owns the entity that you're getting the information from, whether it's a news channel or if you're doing a search now through a platform, or who owns the social media platform that you're chatting on, and what are their political views. You need to know that so that you can understand the nature of why they're suppressing you and why they're silencing you, right? And why they're promoting pedophiles and terrorists and, you know, criminal invasion and all this kind of stuff, right? You need to go to a place where you can communicate with like-minded people and be effective there. You need to know people's motives of where the information's coming from, or who's controlling the information on the platform that you're on if it's online, okay? So bad scoop means bad source. If somebody keeps putting out something that's not true, get rid of them. That's bad. That's harmful to the truth, all right? Block them, ban them, delete them. Vet your source, folks. Who are you getting this information from? Let's get into this, because this is really empowering here. You need to understand what the source's credibility is. What is their credibility? It's comprised of many things. We're going to cover some of them here. What's their background? What's their lifetime of behavior? That's the best indicator of who someone is. People don't just parachute onto planet Earth, you know, at 57 years old and magically, you know, nobody knows who they were or anything like that. Unless, you know, Obama seems to have kind of done that. But generally speaking, people have an entire lifetime of behavior that can be assessed. Just like, let's pick someone out of the crowd, Dinesh D'Souza. Whether you love him or hate him, I happen to be a big fan. I think he's fantastic. But you can judge him based on his life of behavior. Actions speak louder than words. So I don't care what someone says about Dinesh D'Souza, if they say he's a horrible axe murderer or a space alien or a puppy eater. I'm not going to believe it, because I can look at his lifetime of behavior and actions and his choices and what he's done with his energy and time, and I can make my own assessment and judgment based on that, right? I'm a rational adult. I can look at his behavior. Actions speak louder than words, and somebody that I don't know online saying something about him has no weight in my book. No weight. Unless they've got factual, credible evidence. And like, here's video of me with Dinesh D'Souza doing something horrible thing, then I'm not even going to give them the time of day, because I can already see what he's done. Just as one example. There may be better examples I could have chosen, but I hope that makes sense to you. Vet your source. What's their background, lifetime of behavior? Actions speak louder than words, guys. I can't say that enough. We used to always know that, and now, due to the hostility of this global Marxist campaign, this demoralization, destabilization of our country with the BLM and the Antifa and the attacks and the fake news, mainstream news media, all this that's meant to break down our country, the no borders and all the people that are flooding in, and the demoralization of our law enforcement, defunding of our protective police. It's all bad, and we're being conditioned to somehow start accepting that words speak louder than actions, but they don't. It's not true. It's a lie. Everybody that says that, well, so-and-so, yeah, he may have lived an entire life of honor, or he may have served in his term and created the best economy and the best job rates and the best defense and best minority empowerment and all these things, but how he said it. Oh, but what he said is more important. No, it's not. It's just not. Actions speak louder. They always have. And let's never let loose of that, folks, because it's a Jedi mind trick trying to condition a society to somehow think that words, are greater than actions. It'll never be true. So what is their lifetime of action and behavior? Are they someone who's a criminal, a fraud, con man, a drug abuser? Do they have a professional history of abject failure, failed family unit, no possession of their own children, unsuccessful relationships? Are they liar, cheater, stealer, selfish? Do they destroy things? Are they a taker? That's someone that's a bad source, folks. You can't trust someone like that. They look after themselves. Okay? That's a bad source. All those things mean something. If they're any of those things, they shouldn't be on your list of information sources that you're drawing from. But if you're out there searching for people and you see a lifetime of professionalism, of honor, of integrity, of effectiveness, whatever they've done, I don't care if it's a carpet cleaner or a politician or anything else, if they're good at it, if they're effective, man, they're going to have results to show from it. If they're respected among their family and their professional peers, if they have a life of service and sacrifice, if they're givers, if they're problem solvers, if they've got factual results, right? Those things matter. Those are the sources that you want, folks. That's what you should be looking for. I think it's common sense, but I've seen from a lot of people, attacking me. Sometimes it's not just a bot or a troll or a gang stalker. It'll be, not often, but once in a while, a lady with 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 followers, and she's got her family on her page and everything, and I could see it's a legitimate account. She's like, I found out you're an evil, horrible puppy eater. And I'm like, oh my gosh, lady, I know where you got that. That's from this one lunatic. I'm like, lady, ma'am, do you know where you got that from? Well, I got it from this source. I'm like, that's what I thought. Here's who he is. He's a convicted felon. He's a liar. He's a fraud. Here's the whole thing. And, they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. So, but now you guys are already starting to get the understanding of how you sort through these people and get rid of it. What's their financial situation? What's their credit score? What level of responsibility do they have? You teach your children to be responsible. Hey, son, I told you to take out the garbage. My dad was on me about that. I was trying to learn to do it and be good, and I'd forget. And, I'd going through that same thing with my son. And so what are their level of responsibility? Did they ever learn to be responsible and accountable for their actions, or they just post anything online that they want and just they're so sick in their mind, they just don't get it that anyone's, no one's sued them yet. They've only been to prison once, so they think, well, maybe they'll get away with it for the rest of their lives. Look for that. What are their motives? Motives are a huge one. Why are they putting out the information? If you see a fight between spouses, if you see people that have been divorced, they're probably going to be pretty bitter because their relationship didn't work out. And ask any divorce attorney. It can be ugly, man. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, there's people that they'll say vicious things about each other. You kind of have to realize what their motivation is with the source, right? And take that into account. It means something. Motive. What are their aspirations? What do these people want to gain from putting out the information that they're putting out? Are they using it as clickbait? Are they preying upon you to get a click that they're going to monetize and go smoke their next bowl of meth or whatever they do, or another bag of ramen soup or whatever they do? Is it jealousy? Are they running people down out of jealousy? Is it selfish greed, or what is it? Why are they attacking somebody out there online? So look for motive, and if you can determine the motive, that'll mean a lot to you. You'll have a lot more empowerment of understanding. This is one of the biggest indicators of all, folks. Underline this one. Their enemies. Who are their enemies? If their enemies are honorable, professional people that are high quality, that are trusted, that are good, that means something. Okay? If their enemies are low-life, reprobate scum, that means something too. Okay? So use that. Underline it. Who are their enemies, man? Research, figure it out, and what happened between them and their enemies, and that'll shine more light than just about anything a lot of times. So, are their enemies good or bad people? And so a lot of these people already talked about it. They're hope porn. I call it hope porn because they prey on psychology. They prey on your emotions. They want to spike your emotions by giving you hope that here's a situation that happened, and this whole horrible crime spree is all going to be solved right now by this one homeless guy because he's the savior of all, everything, child trafficking, and he screams into his phone because he smokes a lot of meth, and he's just going to stomp around in the desert. And he's going to play on your emotions and get you all hyped up. He's going to solve all of child trafficking right here today in the middle of the desert. Because why? Because housewives sitting at home bored look at that and they think this guy's a veteran. They're like, well, he's a veteran. He must be telling the truth. Oh my gosh, he's doing good things. I'll send him a lot of money. Next thing you know, the guy gets hundreds of thousands of dollars and drones, and quad runners, and gas cards, and he's just lied through his teeth and made up every word of it and left people with nothing. Never rescued a child, never caught a child predator, never did anything but take people's money. It's a predator. Bad guy, life of crime. Look at that. So these hope porn predators or hype porn predators. Hype porn means, instead of playing on people's hopes that they think everything's going to be solved on this one day by this one reprobate, well, they hype it up like there was 1,000 alien UFOs. Instead of one. They hype everything. There's a giant city underneath New York City and under LA, and 35,000 children were rescued again by Navy SEALs and by Marines and, all this kind of thing. And I warned a lot of people, and they didn't like it because I was stealing their hope. And I was interfering with their entertainment that this story that was all hyped up, that had them all fixated and energized, wasn't true. It didn't happen. And just let them know, if you go by evidence, folks, and logic and reason, if 35,000 children, for example, were rescued anywhere, there'd be roughly 250,000 people, family members. We're talking about both parents and then 2 sets of grandparents and any siblings. Do the math. A lot of people celebrating the rescue of their children. There was never one person celebrating the rescue of their children in these crazy stories, right? So the people that put out those stories are hope porn or hype porn predators. They're bad people. They're ripping you off, and they're destroying the truth by putting out fake stories and pretending that they're true, claiming that they're true. And they're preying upon you because when you click on their stories, they're getting money by YouTube or BitChute or whatever for you having clicked on it. So people say, well, no, that's not true, Craig. I never paid them. I'm like, that's not how it works. You don't understand. All right. So they're using your clicks to lie to the masses. And some of these people get 100,000 views per video. It's just people, they eat it up because they feel so energized. They don't know the truth. So they're like, maybe this is true. Okay. So that emotion compromises your logic and reasoning. We think best when we're calm and when we're relatively happy. Okay. So when people fear, scared, and they scream into their phone and they're speed, and big story, horror, then it gets people worked up and it compromises their rational thought, man. So if you want to be empowered, slow down, take a deep breath, look at it, look at the factual evidence, okay? Yeah, the unwitting and the undisciplined that don't check their sources or the facts, they eat it up, boy, they love it. That's okay, but they're prey. Those people are being made into prey. So it's not good. All right, so those are some tools. I hope those have helped you. If you didn't get them all written down, you can go back and watch this video again. We'll leave it up. We're saving this video. I encourage you to save it as well. In ancient Hebrew, folks. The word Satan now translates to mean the accuser. Satan is the accuser. So people who falsely accuse are carrying the flag for Satan. That's a satanic act to accuse someone of something bad that they haven't done. What does that mean to you? Look at people that do that and weigh that into account. That means something, okay? Never forget that. A friend of mine, pretty wise guy, I think he's a genius. He's a quantum physicist. He told me, Craig, the accuser often accuses the innocent of his own transgressions. Where have we seen that? His spirit is not inspired by goodness or truth or light. It is inspired by evil and darkness. In all aspects of your life, beware of the accuser and to not become his instrument. Folks, I think that's wise counsel. That's wise counsel. A friend of mine, Jack, shared that with me. I thought that was pretty profound. Do not become a tool of Satan, and do not become a tool of the accuser. They're one and the same. One and the same. It's evil to do it. So John 8:44 describes Satan as the father of lies. I don't think that could be any more clear, folks. We're to tell the truth. We're to be honest. Okay? And when you have a liar out there, you've got an evil person. That's all there is to it. If you lie right now, work on it. Get better at it. Here are some scriptures. Exodus 20:16, and happens to be one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. My God, I think that's pretty clear. I'll read it again. Exodus 20:16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Shalt not. There's no wiggle room. Okay? Those of you that have done that, that's between you and the big man upstairs. You will see him again one day, whether you realize it or not. Exodus 23:1. You shall not bear false report. Do not join your hand with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. Again, Exodus 23:1. You shall not bear a false report. Do not join your hand with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. Folks, there's malice in the people coming against Vets for Child Rescue and burning my name down. There's malice there. We've already proven it in a court of law to one of these guys that used to get 100,000 viewers saying, Craig Sawyer is a horrible satanic pedophile protector. Where's that dude right now? His lips are sealed. You know why? Because if he opens his mouth again, he's going to prison. Multi-million-dollar defamation suit. Some of his little buddies are next. They're lining up. They don't understand what's coming. But it's coming. God is great. Nothing's free, folks. It may seem like free clickbait for a season, but truth always wins out. Thank God. Proverbs 3:30. Do not contend with a man without cause if he has not done you any harm. Do not, I'll read it again. Proverbs 3:30. Do not contend with a man without, forgive me, let me start over. Do not contend with a man without cause if he has done you no harm. Okay? Means don't go bounce somebody and start attacking him if he hasn't bothered with you. There's no point in it. Okay? It's bad. Enough about that. So here's my point, folks. There is no evidence to warrant such bitter accusations. There's malice in such defamation, libel, slander, and character assassination attacks. Defamation legal cases are coming. The one's already over with on these people are attacking my name and our organization. Some of it, which I didn't expect, and it was a girl, maybe some of you remember her, she went by Honeybee. And when I first started to found Veterans for Child Rescue, she started attacking me online. And I thought, my gosh, I'm coming to help. Why is she attacking me? And she was accusing me of some pretty horrible things. And I was confounded by it at the time. I guess I was naive to how jaded a lot of people are. But anyway, I put out my phone number and I said, hey, you just need to call me because this won't do. This is just ridiculous. I'm here to help. And to her credit, she did. And I talked to her for over an hour. I said, here's what it's like for me. Here's what my family's been through. Here's what we're doing. And here's why I'm doing this. And she just goes, oh my God, I had no idea. And I said, I could tell you had no idea about how you were talking about me. And she said, I'm so sorry. And she and I ended up becoming friends. And I said, but why did you do that? And in time, she eventually said, she goes, I was just jealous. She goes, I was doing what I could do from behind the computer, and you come in with all this pedigree and horsepower, and she goes, I guess I felt jealous, and I just assured her again. I said, well, look at me as a big brother or something, if you will, because I'm just here to help, man. And you should celebrate. If I'm bringing more horsepower than you, that's a good thing, because I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm here to help, man. So if I'm in the SEAL team and I'm in a firefight somewhere and there's fast movers coming in or attack helicopters on my behalf or other units coming in helping us win, man, that's great. I'm not going to be jealous of that. I'm going to be grateful for it. So that's my attitude, and that's where I'm coming from as far as other units or anything like that. So I'm not out to take anybody off of the game board or take any credit from anybody or anything like that. I don't care about it. I just want people to stop raping children. And that's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm exposing it, and we're arresting the predators and putting them away as best we can. And we're building the biggest, most powerful machine that we can to expand it and make it as until one day there is no child trafficking in the United States, at least. That's my objective. I want to change our culture back to one that's protective of children rather than abusive of children, as has become the case right now. It's tragic. Breaks my heart. I'm not okay with it, and I'm willing to fight. The petty trolls are just an annoyance. But I saw a chance to address it today because I could really do some good with a lot of the other people that are kind of caught in the crossfire, and they're online and they don't understand what this clickbait predator crew is and what they do, and who may be paying them and that sort of thing. Okay. So it's a fact, folks. If you look online, people that are running me down, no haters, not one of them has ever done as much as I do to expose and combat child trafficking. Not one of them. Not one hater has ever arrested even one pedophile. So haters, go out there and work on your first case. Like, instead of running down the guy that's doing the work and getting all the convictions, 23 arrests with 100% conviction rate, they're all in prison. They've all been put away. That's success. That's effectiveness. That's real work, folks. And the evidence is right on our website, vetsforchildrescue.org. Look at that. Isn't that handsome? These are banners that some of our volunteers take to different events and hand out cards and patches and basically just, network and let people know, and so we can all stand up for the children. It's a beautiful thing. And thanks for all of you guys that have participated in any of those. It's a fantastic thing. Yeah, so get your first arrest. At least do one, okay? Instead of attacking me, do something positive and do something productive, and that way you'll feel better about yourself. And shoot, if I can help you, I'll help you. But if you're going to come for me, man, don't come for me. That's a wrong answer. Talk to some of those guys that aren't running their mouths anymore, how that worked out. Okay, there's a reason. I like this quote, folks. The loudest boos always come from the cheapest seats. You know who that came from? Babe Ruth. The loudest boos always come from the cheapest seats, meaning the people that don't do anything. People that contribute the least are the biggest complainers. My, isn't that true? I hope that doesn't describe you. And if it does, look in the mirror and fix yourself. Every day is a new decision. Who are we going to be, guys? All right. So when these people are attacking, is it a paid political hit job? Are these people being paid by someone like Hillary or Soros to attack us? Are they just gang stalkers? What's the reason behind that? Are they trying to do something to help some political party or just stop us or destroy our support for saving children? Are they just deranged lunatic prize that's at the very core of the globalist cabal's corrupt power structure? You'll have to decide. I've shared a lot of the techniques with you. Are these attacks by traffickers? Are they child traffickers, the people that are attacking us? Are they pedophiles? Research them. Look into these attackers and you tell me. Is it just unbridled jealousy? These people have literally no control of themselves and they don't care about children, so they'll let their emotions run away and their jealousy drive them to attack? Are they demon possessed, which could be the case, or could it be a combination of any of those? All right. I'll invite you guys to start looking into these attackers and see what makes them tick. You'll be disgusted. Regardless of what's wrong with them, it comes straight from the pit of hell. It's 100% demonic. And I'm giving you the scriptures to demonstrate that. Now you know. Play no part, folks. Play no part in it. Okay? So now we're going to get into some Q&A. Hit me with your questions, guys. I'll scroll through here. I'll answer you verbally because it'll be quicker and more thorough. And we'll get you guys, we will get you answers to your questions so you understand what I understand. All right, how about you? Well, so we're going to do this one time. This is going to be today. This is one time only, okay? I'm busy, and I've chosen today to do this, so let's get this done and ask all your questions, and we'll get after it. I'm scrolling down. I'm looking for a direct question. Gitmo, Craig, no deals. Well, yeah, it's not up to me, but child trafficking is an unforgivable crime, and I have no mercy. I have no sympathy for people that prey on God's most precious and innocent. It's evil what they're doing to the children, by the way, folks. A lot of it is spiritual. They believe, these evil people believe that defiling God's most precious and innocent, the children, is what they're supposed to do. To ruin the children's lives, to ruin if you're a Christian, you believe that this life's a test, pass or fail test, and you're supposed to live your life through all these challenges. You're still supposed to choose the godly way of dealing with it. You're supposed to follow Jesus Christ. So these people who worship these ancient demonic gods, it's basically just different names for Satan, but Baal and Moloch, it's just Satan. But these people that worship evil believe that they are to defile God's most precious and innocent, the children. And they think that that's going to benefit them. So I can't understand that mindset, but that's straight up evil, folks. That is the frontline clash between good and evil. And that is at the very core of what's wrong with the United States and even globally. And all those people that hated our President Trump and that hate our Constitution, a lot of them have a foot into child trafficking and pedophilia. And that's why I'm absolutely hammering down on that topic and that crime spree. And that's why I don't take any grief from these petty little clickbait trolls that just want attention by running me down. All right, I just see a bunch of goofy chatting, juvenile type chatting. folks, just for the sake of being adults here and being productive, just try to clean this up and add just straight questions here. All right, you can see by a lot of the way these people write questions and stuff where their heads are at. These are just vandals, really, just internet vandals that want to go around antagonizing people and not doing anything effective. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. I invited all of those who were trying to antagonize me, as you know now, haven't done anything to help children, haven't arrested any predators, haven't rescued any children, but falsely accuse me of things that we can demonstrate to be false. Instead of asking honest questions about their ridiculous accusations, now they're just being juvenile delinquents on here. So I think that's a pretty good indicator. These people are either sick-minded or just petty haters. A lot of these guys, folks. It's useful to see for sane people to just scroll through the comments and see what these people are like. See how they write. See how unintelligible a lot of their comments are. I've yet to see one question that's legitimate that I can answer. I just see a bunch of juveniles chatting with each other. They've wasted everybody's time. So, and the one chance, the one opportunity, folks, that these people had to ask questions, they can't not even one accusation are they willing to stand behind and ask what the truth is. So they got nothing. They know that shows you that they have malice in their hearts, that they know that what they're accusing myself of, whatever it is, isn't true. So here's the proof. Look at the nature of their comments, and there's the proof. I mean, it speaks for itself. You can just look at it. So I guess I gave them more credit than they should have been given. I'll just scroll through all the comments, folks. If there's not even one question, then I guess that's a win on my part by default from the demonic left here. Yeah, I'm almost scroll through the whole comment section. No question. Yeah, that's it, folks. I've gone through all the questions. I don't see all the comments. I don't see one. I don't see one straight question. All right, here's one. Finally, did you work for the Clintons? That one's been answered in multiple media interviews, but I'm glad somebody brought it up here again, just so I could expose it again and show how ridiculous. No, I never worked for the Clintons. Never did. That's pretty much the end of the answer. But to share a little bit of how ridiculous these clickbait haters are, all that they're basing that I work for Hillary, that I'm her personal bodyguard, and I'm somehow on the other opposite side of good and evil than I spend all my time and effort fighting for, is that Hillary visited my area in Iraq once in early 2005. February 2005, I was the agent in charge for the Department of State Mobile Security Division in Kirkuk, Iraq. And she and McCain came in for a visit there for a series of meetings. And she did not bring her own security details. She had two beleaguered Secret Service guys that were walking about 30 yards behind her, looked like they were demoralized, as anybody would be that was an honorable patriot that had to defend that woman, because she hates security details, and she hates canine units, and she's foul mouthed and all this other stuff. But these guys are walking, basically looking at their boots 30 yards behind her, because she doesn't want them anywhere near her. And I realized, okay, well, I briefed the two guys, and I said, here's all my security detail. Here's what we've got. Here's all the vehicles. Here's what's happening. And they were very appreciative. I gave them a situational brief of that area. So the meetings were conducted. And while she was there, had she needed to move to any other parts of town, I would have had to put my detail on her or McCain, move them around. So we did that for a lot of chief of mission personnel for Department of State, but she and McCain were only there briefly. And so I never had to move her or deal with her. So I never had a conversation with the woman. So just from that, folks, just from her visiting there and technically falling under my responsibility, these clickbait predators build a whole persona and a whole lifetime of following her around and working for her and being her personal bodyguard. So now you know just how ridiculous on just one visit to one region in a war zone. We had dozens of people that we protect. And so I would ask, what of all the hundreds of people that were on Hillary's security detail, which I never was? But what of all of them? Are all of those people satanic pedophiles? Or is it just the one guy whose region she visited once, who happens to actually be arresting child predators, and you're not, and you're jealous? That's what's really going on. It's becoming more and more clear with all your comments. Bunch of just petty trolls. So that's what that is. So did I ever work for Hillary? Nope. Did I ever protect her? Nope. Now you know. So there's no excuse now, folks. Now that when you see somebody say that, you know that they don't care about the truth, and they are carrying the flag for Satan by bearing false witness. Because you're all here. You've all heard it. There it is. So now, for those of you that are not bitter trolls and petty and carrying the flag for Satan, take this video, save it, and share it. Anytime you see somebody post these same old, like they used to do to Trump, everything was Russian collusion, right? It factually got disproven. We know it was fake, but didn't keep the DNC from attacking him 24/7. Russian collusion, that's what they're doing with me. He works for Hillary. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Take this video and post it there. Let people educate themselves on the facts. Okay. When did V4CR start? 4 years ago. Founded it 4 years ago. First order of business was to get Contraland to market, alert the threat to the people. So job one, the reason Veterans for Child Rescue was founded was to alert the populace. Information, expose child trafficking, the fastest growing criminal enterprise on earth. Inside the United States, $38 to $50 billion. Most of the people don't know. The normal citizenry are still largely unaware of how dark and how ugly. So in order to do this, in order to change the entire dynamic, we've got to change our culture. That means information. We've got to educate the populace and get the facts and the truth to the people. So that's why we spent a lot of effort in Contraland. We traveled to 5 different countries and ran operations and brought in experts. And all these experts, by the way, that you saw in Contraland, they're on our board of advisors. We've got a board of directors too. So we've got a lot of quality people, and we've gotten 23 federal criminal investigators and 30 analysts from just about every agency. We've run further background checks and vetting on them. Some of these are 20 and 30-year veterans of these agencies. And they've done a lot in joint task forces against child trafficking over the years and different federal criminal investigations, and put a lot of predators away. And we've got a full-time program manager who's a 31-year veteran federal criminal investigator heading that program up now. And we've got intellectual property technology from the American Industrial Compact, who are the geniuses that create the technology that run our Department of Defense, aerospace industry, intelligence community, law enforcement community. And these people are holding their information back right now because they're sick of it going straight to China. They'll submit it to the federal government and it goes straight to China. And these people are white hat patriots. They don't want their powerful inventions being used against us by China. So until we patch all our leaks in our national security boat, they're holding it. They're holding it back. They want to have it used for our defense, but they're not going to have it used against us. So they're stuck until we fix this dynamic. But meanwhile, they're making it available for Vets for Child Rescue, thank God. So we've got the ability to investigate like I never thought we'd have, at least not at this point. So brand new technology that has not even been submitted yet to the intelligence community or DOD. So that's a blessing from God, and it's exciting. And so we're anxious to. I just spent 3 weeks with everybody who's anybody in law enforcement in Texas, just as one example, having meetings with them and letting them know what all we have now, and coordinating future joint operations. And so we've got stuff spinning up all over the place. So, all right, here's somebody. I know who this troll is, but he's going to ask a question, and I'm going to answer it just so that you guys can see the ridiculousness. This guy, whose name is Timmy, says, is Bob Hamer and John Regan the same man? I don't know who John Regan is, but I know who Bob Hamer is. Bob Hamer is a Marine. He's a Christian, heterosexual, married man, raised his own children, spent 31 years in the FBI, and he went undercover inside of NAMBLA and got 8 convictions on their senior pedophiles there inside of NAMBLA for the FBI. Beautiful work. Outstanding. He's become a good friend. I'm honored to know him. You can read about what all he's done. Fascinating read. The Last Undercover is the first book I've read of his, and he's got more out, but do read The Last Undercover. If you care about children, Bob Hamer's contributions against NAMBLA for the children, he did not want to do that undercover gig because it was so difficult, because he could not, if he was selling or buying arms to somebody undercover, he wouldn't have to pretend to think like the other thug, the criminal he was doing business with. But inside of NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association pedophiles, he had to become one of them. So he had to convince them that he thought like they did. And that was heartbreaking for Bob. That was disgusting and sickening repulsive for him. So just imagine being a Christian patriot warrior and wanting to take predators down, and you had to pretend to be one of them, and for a period of months or years to bring down 8 major child predators. God bless Bob Hamer. So no, he's not he's not some other dude. Okay, weirdo. And any of the search techniques that I taught you to do would have given you that. If your mind was sane there, Timmy, you would have realized that no, Bob Hamer's not some other dude. His life is known. Okay. Lunatics. How many judges have I seen arrested for child trafficking during my ride-alongs? None. Now, one of the, and that's actually not a bad question, Timmy. George Soros funds the campaigns of crooked judges and district attorneys. Newt Gingrich said it on Fox News. You can research it. It's a very, very bad thing. And he funds these people because they're corrupt, because they're crooked, and because they will not prosecute child sex crimes. Folks, we've got to get these judges out of there. We've got to get these district attorneys out of there, because we can't run joint operations in a place where the district attorney is owned by Soros, because we could build the biggest case and rock solid and go to put them away. And at the end of it, the DA wouldn't even prosecute him, because DA is corrupt and crooked and doesn't care. Okay. So while Timmy here means harm, he actually, God can use vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor for good. God just used a vessel of dishonor, little Timmy, to bring out a good point that we need to get these crooked judges and DAs out of our system, folks. Vote them out, expose them, investigate them. And we'll probably be doing some of that when we know several areas right now where it's problematic. So we're still building our Vets for Child Rescue machine. You know about our investigations program now. We don't have a lot of money. We're saving up funding, but we're starting a new round of operations and building a television series, a documentary series, to expose a lot of this every week. Boom, 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 to empower the American people with the truth of what's really going on. So where do kids go after they're rescued? They go to different facilities that are aftercare facilities, and not try to sound more spiritual than the next person, but the ones that I know of that are overwhelmingly the most effective. In fact, the only ones that are really long-term effective are based on Christian values and people, where the victims can get real therapy and healing. You know, the one of our partner organizations is Rancho Milagro, and they do equine therapy, very powerful. But they're strong Christians, and they have a lot of discernment and spiritual wisdom, and they're really, really good with people. And our own daughter's been there, and it's just beautiful when she goes, because she improves, she recovers so much more when she goes there. So we're grateful for that. And anytime she can get there, it's fantastic. So there's a lot of need for better aftercare facilities, and there's more of them needed. So it's a major deficit in the national crisis of child trafficking. There's, any of a number of these houses that are run in different ways. But if it's just a state-run facility, a lot of time they're just treated like another juvie, and they're in there with other gangbangers and stuff. And that's not a place where they're going to get any counseling or therapy or healing. They're just treated like a criminal, and it's unfortunate. So they need love, man. They need real healing, and the ones that really do it right always, just by my observation, have ended up being Christian-run groups. So. Yeah, that's my answer on that. Why are so many children being trafficked? Why do they come from the foster care system? Well, My understanding is that CPS has, especially in Arizona, a bad reputation for targeting single mothers, especially minorities or immigrants that may be working multiple jobs. She's trying to do her best to care for her kids, and they can come in and say, that child's nose is dirty and that one looks a little bit thin. We're deeming you the unfit mother. We're the authority and we're taking your kids. And my understanding is those kids go into a foster care system, and one household loving, the next one may be abusive, but they go from house to house to house until they're off the books. And once they're off the books, that's when they're bought and sold like just a piece of meat. And it's unthinkable what happens. So we need to fix this. We need a lot of people investigating and exposing what's going on and just fixing it. Just fixing it. Make it work the way that it's supposed to. We've all been children, and none of us wanted to be bought and sold or raped or tortured or murdered. Okay? So it's a no-brainer. Who is Adrian Wells? Don't know. Talk about CMEX and AZ. Okay. This one I could talk about. I'd put you guys to sleep talking about it for hours. But Screwy Louie is a con man and a fraud. And Sheila Zielinski did a great deep dive expose on Screwy Louie and Tucson. And we did a video about it. So it's on my YouTube, Craig Sawyer YouTube channel. Scroll down until you see Screwy Louie, VOP, fraud, Tucson, CMEX, and watch that. It's beautiful. She did a great job. It's honest, straightforward, play-by-play account of exactly what happened with VOP, Screwy Louie, Tucson, CMEX, okay? But for this purposes, before you watch that, the end result is we went there and looked through it all, and it turned out he was a complete fraud. He had staged that whole thing out of a existing homeless camp just to get clickbait. He got several $100,000 out of that and viral reach for a while. So the dude's a lifelong criminal and fraud and reprobate. So that's what happened with that, essentially. Go watch that video, and I've shared it 100 times. It was done in the summer of 2018. And if people that were haters were actually consumers of factual information, you guys would have shared that around. You would already be empowered with that knowledge by now. You would already understand the truth and the facts. So be more diligent and more wired to share factual information when you get it. Okay, just because it exposes something that was fraud and not true, and it ruined your hope porn for that weekend. Well, sorry to be the bearer of factual reality, but fraud harms the real cause, folks. There's countless children suffering really right now. And shame on you guys that are clickbait, frauding, and attacking us and try to cloud the waters. That's why I say it's not accidental. It's not anything other than intentionally trying to disrupt and ruin our mission, because people are working for Lucifer, Satan, Hillary, Soros, whoever their master is. It's not accidental. Okay. Otherwise, you guys would have shared the heck out of that video, because it's been posted hundreds of times. All right, looking for more viable questions here. What does our company do? Our company exposes child trafficking and takes direct action against it. So we expose it through documentaries like Contraland. Go to contralandmovie.com, watch it tonight. Empower yourself with that knowledge on child trafficking, the nature of it in the United States. It's beautiful, it's genuine, it's real. And NASCAR placement, billboards. We've got people that go to different fundraisers and man booths and hand out pamphlets and all that kind of stuff, and social media campaigns. We're just trying to alert the populace. There's a threat, there's a problem. Let's safeguard the children, everybody. So alerting the people is job one, and we run direct operations against the predators and arrest them and put them in prison where they can rape no more. That's the secondary portion of our job. And it's secondary because every one of them the average number of children that are child predator rapes throughout their lifetime, because they never tend to stop, is 70. Some of them rape and destroy hundreds of children throughout their lifetimes. And some of them get caught the first time. So the average is 70 children. So everyone that we can put away is fantastic victory, because there's, an average of 70 children that won't be destroyed because of that guy anymore. That's good. So we love doing that. So we're going to do as much of that as we can, but nothing's bigger than media and alerting 320 million parents and family members to the nature of the threat, so that they can demand stronger legislation, stronger laws and enforcement against the predators, and break them. Now we'll have all of our federal government attacking and shattering child trafficking rather than protecting it, right? And stronger protections for the children, rather than the children growing up in school and not getting taught about this and not knowing how to defend themselves, okay? So job one is the information, the Paul Revere thing. Hey, the pedophiles are not only coming, but they're here. Let's protect the children. And number two is take direct action. And direct action is growing into more things that we're finding out that we can do. So we're attacking on all fronts, man. That's a good question. Someone that says, was I inspired by what I'm doing by what happened to our daughter? No, it broke our hearts and it ticked us off. We had already committed to founding Vets for Child Rescue. We'd already put the paperwork in, and it takes a while. And that's when our daughter got attacked. And so it broke our hearts. That's what it did. But it angered us. And that anger strengthened our resolve. It was almost like we'd committed to doing something good for the children. And like evil said, oh, yeah, well, like evil bit back at our family for committing to this fight. But we're like, okay, we're just going to build this machine, this fight even more powerfully. And we're just going to shatter this evil in our country. So that's what we've been doing, man. Throttle down for 4 years, going at it. All right. Bum, 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 bum. What does V4CR stand for? Veterans for Child Rescue. Stands for Veterans for Child Rescue. All right, somebody wants to attack our daughter here. Are accusations your daughter Aspen made against you true? Well, in one sense, that's personal family business. But since she put it on the internet, I don't know what all you've seen, but I can just tell you this. We love our daughter with all our hearts. And she's struggling right now. She's been badly traumatized. And she lives in an apartment with a very problematic boyfriend who's is a drug addict and drug dealer, and he's crashed her car multiple times, and we've fixed it. And her insurance has tripled, and we got to the point to where she kept biting the hand that fed her, and we were just trying to love her through it. And it got to where the finances, she was being so reckless and destructive that we could not. She kept, like, we would move her away. She would call for like a rescue from this guy, this abusive boyfriend. And we would bring her up here, and then we'd put her into a new apartment, clean apartment, assemble the furniture, get her in this beautiful little life, repair her car, pay off all the insurance damage, get her car clean and new and give it back to her. And then just love her and go little bird, go fly, do your work and your education, just go. And we're here, we love you. And she would bring her boyfriend, that she just asked for rescue from, into her apartment. And then within hours, destruction, the police would be there again. And it's just a mess. And The accusations against the rest of her family are not true. They're what she said, whatever she's saying against her grandmother, her mother, or myself, those things never happened. What she's apparently thinks is going to happen is she can force us to pay for triple rate insurance and pay for her boyfriend's theft of all her stuff, and he keeps hawking her own items, and we just can't fund that destructive behavior anymore as parents. We just can't. We love her. We want the best for her. We want her to be happy, safe, and empowered. She's a brilliant little girl. She's 22 now, but she's petite. But she'll always be our precious little Aspen. And so that's the situation there. It breaks our heart, but we just have to let her say her worst until she gets over it, because we must not fund that type of destructive behavior. So she's trying to post things on the internet to force us to pay for all of this. And we finally said, baby, we just can't. You got to learn to grow up and be accountable for your own decisions. So no, the accusations are not true. And I don't know what all you're seeing, but I've seen some things that were wildly crazy, out of control, ugly. I could tell you this, and you can look at the videos. I armed that girl as soon as she was attacked and raped. I armed her and trained her. So that girl's armed to the teeth. So nobody around us messed with that girl or abused her in any way. So I mean, that much I can tell you. So why she puts up with any of that from her boyfriend, I have no idea. So that's all I know. Okay, please pray for Aspen. Please pray for our daughter. We love her. I still think she's going to have a very powerful advocacy. She's going to be a champion for children. She's going to be a tiger when she gets dialed in, when she gets healed, and when the timing's right. I still believe that. She's done great for a while, but that's all there is to say really about that. Okay. Looking for more questions. I'm about to get to the bottom of all the text box. Oh, here's one. Why did I threaten Homeseth? Look, folks, here's what a psycho Homeseth is. Go to Homeseth's things that he wrote about me, and realize that's not my email address. That's never been my email address. That guy is so psycho. He's so crazy. He writes his own crude and vulgar threats to himself from a fictitious email address for attention. I could tell you one thing right now, folks, as a former federal criminal investigator and having had all the personnel responsibilities that I have, one thing I do know to do is not write threats to people. He's going down legally, so I don't need to threaten him. And you can see that's his language. That's vulgar, crude, foul language that he wrote to himself. So that's how ridiculous that dude's mind is. He's morbidly insane. And everybody that watches his videos can readily detain that or ascertain that. Somebody's Craig, will you sue Homeseth? Yep. And a woman named Randy Erickson? Yep. It's already in the works. It's already in the works. Okay. Randy Erickson's dug her own legal cesspool. So she chose poorly. Okay. Yeah, Homestead's a very disturbed human being. People are writing. Yeah, he is. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of people don't vet their sources, so they take what he says and they repeat it. So it harms the truth and it harms the children. How many children has Homestead harmed by his fake accusations and all these jealous little haters attacking people that are making arrests? How many children are not being rescued? How many predators are still on the loose because you're destroying any of you that are gang stalking? You're destroying support that otherwise would result in additional operations that could have been run, or support or funding. How many children are you responsible for harming? You're going to answer for that. You're going to stand before God, whether you're a Christian or not, whether you realize it or not. We all have the same creator, and you're going to stand and answer for that. And I wouldn't want to be you if you're attacking the good guys. There's no excuse for it. Oh, what about Attorney Wood? Yeah, let's talk about Homestead and Lynn Wood. That's a good one. So Homestead likes to talk about Lynn Wood for some reason, because Lynn accidentally posted a blurb from an article that article. I say article because Homestead's not a journalist. He's just a psychopath who self-publishes his own rants. You guys do know that, right? He doesn't work for anybody. He just self-publishes his own stuff. So you can read this. Take a screenshot of that. This is all up online. You don't need me for it. Here's Lynn Wood on Twitter before they deleted Lynn's account. Lynn Wood, thank you, Craig. You're a great man doing God's work to protect innocent children being victimized. I know your superb reputation from several sources, and posting a tweet forwarded by a trusted friend. I did not intend to vouch for Homestead. I just posted the article. I talked to Lynn about Homestead, and he said, man, I don't know who that guy is. It's unfortunate. I chose something from something that he posted, but I don't know who he is. I definitely don't vouch for him but Craig, I mean, I know who you are. I know what great work you do. And he posted as much. So it's all been out there. So if you guys haven't seen it, do a search on it. You'll find it. Okay, but I'll read another one to you. Lynn Wood, I'm receiving information today raising questions about credibility of Tim Homestead. I do not know Homestead. I received the link in the article from a trusted friend, and I posted it. I did not know Homestead was the author. I can only leave credibility of content up to the reader. Okay. He went on to write, I'm receiving information today raising questions about credibility, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, that's just a repeat of the top one. Another one is Lynn Wood. He goes, I have spoken with Craig Sawyer and have had friends vouch for him and his work. To go further behind the scenes, guys, one of Lynn's close friends is on our board. So he's known about Vets for Child Rescue from the beginning and how effective we are. He knows a lot of the people that are on our board. He knows what we do. He knows how professional our organization is. So he knows. That's why people couldn't troll him and harass him about it. He says, I have to leave the debate at that status. I tweeted the article after I received the link from a trusted friend. So basically, Lynn Wood kind of got burned by a friend that didn't vet the source, and he sent an article again, rant by psychopath Homestead, and Lynn Wood posted it and discredited himself. So he's admitting he doesn't know Homestead and that he doesn't vouch for him, but he does vouch for me, and he knows Vets for Child Rescue, and he knows me. So here's Lynn Wood again. Thank you, Craig. You're a great man doing God's work to protect innocent children from being victimized. I know your superb reputation from several sources. Okay, this is the other one. let me make sure this is. As a background to tweets I'm about to post, you should read this article carefully. I ask that you read each of my tweets carefully and decide if the information conveyed demands that patriots rise up so that every lie will be revealed. All right, so that's Lynn Wood's, straight out of Lynn Wood's feed about Homestead. So if you look at Homestead's videos, once in a while somebody will send me something. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'll click on it. It's just eerie, creepy music. And Homestead won't even own his actions. He tries to use other people as like surrogates to peddle his poison out because I guess he's finally afraid of being brought to account for his behavior. But I listen to what they're saying. I'm like, it doesn't even make any sense. You guys aren't even making a coherent accusation. So again, just psychobabble. So guys, about Homestead, here are some facts. You need to write these down and research them. Number one, his channel is called the High Command. There is no such thing as High Command. There's no entity named High Command. That's laughable. That's when we were children, G.I. Joe, High Command. So he's literally just taking a childhood thing that he heard and calling himself that. He's got no official capacity in any way. This dude's basically a homeless guy, all right? Shacking up with Randy Erickson. A lot of time it looked like he was living in his car. You saw the filth in his car. He's trying to say that he's a federal agent. Guys, that's impersonating a federal peace officer. That's a felony crime. He's guilty of a lot of crimes that they haven't closed back up on him yet, but he claims to be part of another entity that's fake, the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Guys, there's no Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, and it's not even plausible. And if you use the research techniques that I taught you earlier, you'd realize that the Pentagon's not a law enforcement entity. It doesn't have a law enforcement arm, okay? Being a pedophile, is despicable and evil and destructive as it is, it's not a crime. Raping children is a crime. Selling children is a crime. Molesting children is a crime. And it's, in my opinion, it's all rape because a child can't advocate for themselves yet. Their brains aren't developed yet. But pedophile is not a crime. So there's no task force that would ever be named pedophile in this new age, politically correct era in law enforcement. There would never be anything called a pedophile task force. It's just sheer laughable fantasy. And yeah, I'm frustrated at people for not seeing it. But again, not everybody's had my background. So now when you've gone through those techniques, you can analyze these things and go, my God, this guy's just literally making up stuff right off the top of his head. There is no high command. There is no Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Never has been. Pentagon is not a law enforcement entity. You can contact the Pentagon and find that out. He uses a fake photo of military getting on an aircraft for deployment as his own organization. He has no organization. He can't qualify for a 501c3 or corporation or anything. This dude's a felon. He's claiming to be JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command. I was actually a member of JSOC at Dev Group. Okay. Joint Special Operations Command. He never was Joint Special Operations Command. He's got no affiliation with them. That's stolen valor. That's another crime. Timothy Homestead is not JSOC. That's stolen valor. That's a crime. Okay? You want to report him and do some good and clean up the airwaves? Report him for that. Get JSOC after him. Alert them to him. Yeah, Randy Erickson's providing refuge to a felon. He's got 2 more warrants out for his arrest right now. Do you guys know that? If he passed around his mugshot from when he was convicted of felony stalking, guys, how psychopathic do you have to be to get convicted of felony stalking? How creepy of a stalker do you have to be before a judge goes, what you're doing to this person is not acceptable? Okay? Field McConnell. Do you guys realize that Field McConnell had a brain tumor? That's when he started falling off mentally. Field McConnell at one time was a respected aviator in the Marine Corps, And Homeseth snuggled up to him whenever Phil McConnell got his brain tumor and started his downward spiral mentally. Phil McConnell needed family around him, helping him, not a predator like Timmy Homeseth. What Tim Homeseth did was preyed upon an ailing veteran there. And he led Phil McConnell into crimes that Phil McConnell is now in jail for. And he's been in jail for a while, and he's awaiting a criminal trial, folks. Timothy Homeseth is a destructive predator. He's got Phil McConnell in jail right now. Brain tumor. He needs medical help. Doesn't need people preying on his following and sending him to prison where Homeseth has him now. So Homeseth can't have a security clearance, can't have a firearm because he's a convicted felon. Okay, guys. I know right now he's in possession of illegal firearms because he is a felon, and he can't have a security clearance, so he can't have any job with the federal government that he claims that he does. So this guy's just completely lying to you. Now you know. Share this with all your friends. Share this with everyone that says, oh, Timmy's saving the world. No, he's not. He's sitting in his filthy underwear, shacking up with Randy Erickson because he doesn't have his own family, doesn't have his own house, can't keep himself employed. You guys, I don't know if it's, well, I almost don't want to say it. I'll ask it in the questions here coming up. He's got at least 2 more warrants out for his arrest. No, I've never threatened him. And we can prove that in a court of law because that email address never existed. That's a fake email address, folks. So look at what he wrote to himself and laugh at him. Realize how psychopathic that a guy has to be to write crude and vulgar threats to himself from a fake email address for attention. I never knew who this guy was. I just kept seeing people report him to me. This Homeseth guy, what's he doing? I'm like, I don't know. Who is he? They're like, look, what do you make of this video? I'm like, I couldn't watch it for 15 seconds without going, that dude's insane. Yeah, I know, but why is he so mad at you? I'm like, no idea. He doesn't know me from Adam. Doesn't know me from Adam. All right, so here's some questions people should be asking about him. Was he fired from his job as a janitor for not showering? Is that true? If he was, what does that say about someone? If you're so filthy and you're so greasy and dirty and stinky that even as a custodian, even as a janitor, you're not clean enough to mop the floor, people are going to fire you for that. That just shows what a deranged state of mind this guy's in. So I'd say he needs help, but he needs to be stopped from his rampage of destruction. Okay. Because he writes about up to 2 articles. I've seen him write 2 articles a day. Craig Sawyer is a horrible blah, 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 blah. He just changes the words and he puts another shocking headline and he publishes another one. All right, so he needs to be taken down. He's been brought down off every platform he's ever been on. I think the only place he's really exists anymore is his own website and BitChute. But it's bad, folks. So where's his family? Where are his children? Is he fondling himself? Is he groping himself in his videos the way people say? Is this guy a child predator? I don't know, man. It looks really, really bad, though. Who makes unfounded claims about people and accuses people of murdering with no factual basis whatsoever, no reason to do so? And these kinds of things. Who just does that, right? He said that once he said Laura Silsby was my sister. I'm like, where did that even come from? The only reason I even know who Laura Silsby is because I heard about her with the Clinton Foundation and the accusations of child trafficking. So that, I think the Bureau is finally investigating all of that. And I hope heads roll, man. But got just no basis whatsoever. He'll just take someone that's he thinks is evil or criminal, and I happen to think that too, and he'll try to associate them to me. It's his mother, it's his sister, he's married to her. It's just baseless, guys. And no, I'm not a CIA, MK Ultra mind control wizard. Okay, this is the kind of lunacy you guys are sharing out there. It's just baseless. There's nothing to it. If someone's going to be a MK Ultra mind control monster, my understanding is they do it to children. They torture the children so horrifically that they shatter their minds, and the children, out of desperation to escape being there, fracture into multiple personalities. They break into schizophrenia. And once they do it once, they keep tormenting the child, and they break into more and more personalities. And then the MK Ultra program, at least what I've read about it, indicates that they try to take one of those personalities and somehow develop it to get that person to do whatever the controlling entity wants them to do. That may be against their own will. Straight up demonic stuff. Evil stuff. But when was if you believe something like that, when was I a child for years in the custody of some sort of heinous entity? I come from a loving mother and father, Christian family. My dad was a sincere, devout pastor and spiritual leader, and surrounded by a big church and school, and I went to the Marines and the SEAL team and Department of State. And I mean, I had a great childhood. I was surrounded by nothing but love. So it's just, you have to look at it, folks, and see when and where could these things have even happened. All right. So, now, is Homeseth being fed points by Fiona Barnett in Australia? Fiona Barnett's another one of these clickbait people that she claims to be a victim, and I don't know whether she is or not. But she spent years attacking me until finally, with a lot of these same kind of accusations, and she's in Australia. She known me from Adam. And gross, erroneous, accusations and assumptions. But she's one that said that President Nixon raped her on Air Force One. The people did the math, and they said that would have had to happen 2 years before she was even born. So some of these people, they'll just throw out ridiculous things and just for clickbait and attention, or to sell a book or whatever they do. They like the attention of being a victim. So with Fiona, she went quiet once that online PDF file came out. So people started getting official documentation from court files and things like that, and showing what she really was. So before I got my Twitter account suspended for revealing COVID stats, well, actually it was the COVID article that Hank Aaron had died after taking the COVID vax, which I understand is true, but it's even still, Twitter just deleted my account. So there's 130,000 followers gone. So they don't like that I exposed child trafficking, so they use a COVID stat to take that down. But anyway, with this PDF file, people put all these documents together, and when people would attack me on Twitter, because Twitter was a real dumpster for trolling and clickbait and gang stalkers, I would just click the link for this PDF file with all these documents in it and go, well, then, okay, you tell me. You read about the Fiona from the official documents, and you tell me what she is. And it was a matter of a couple weeks of that, and then I haven't heard a word from her in like 18 months at least. And as far as I'm concerned, that's good. I hope she stops attacking the innocent, and I hope she's cleaning up her life and getting help. But Timmy Homestead seemed to be pumping the same stuff that fake Fifi over in Australia was pumping out. So either he'll quit on his own, or he's going to get himself arrested. But I know he's getting sued, so that's already in the works, folks. So is he just insane, folks? Is he paid by the DNC? Is Hillary paying Homestead to attack us? Is he just a creepy stalker? Is he a pedophile? Is he a child trafficker? Is he demon possessed? Is he a combination of all the above? I don't know, but they're important questions for us to all ask. So let's keep this video and share it like that for anybody that's running the innocent down, and just help people break it down. And so wrapping up this, folks, I tell you what, man, whenever I'm in a room with, I don't know if you could hear the scratching in there, but my little dog, he likes in the room with me. And he wants in here. He knows his master's in there, in this room, and that I love him, and that it's going to be good. And he wants in here with me. And I don't know what's in heaven, folks. I don't know everything that's going to be there. I've read about it in the Bible. It sounds great. But I don't know everything that's going to be there. We can't know as humans down here. But I do know that my master is there. And I know he loves me. And it's going to be good. And I want to be there. And I hope you do too. And if you do, act accordingly. Behave accordingly. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Don't attack the good guys. God's going to hold you up to account for it. And if we have to, we'll hold you to legal account for it first. All right? But just do the right thing. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right? So thanks, everybody, for supporting our mission. Those of you that are friendlies out there. I prayed initially for God to identify where the aorta of this evil beast was, because that's where I was going to strike. That's what I was going to spend the rest of my life attacking in order to protect the children from this. And that's why I've taken the steps that I have. So, and that's why all the evil, vicious trolling and gang stalking that you see online, little juvenile nitpicking, that's just satanic. It doesn't mean anything. It's just pointless aggravation. And that's why you saw so few actual questions from any of these people. All they can do is just nitpick and just act juvenile. So it speaks for itself, folks. It's another disappointment. I thought we'd have better quality questions on here, but we did answer quite a few of the ones that I think are important, at least. And so there's still much to be done for our org, folks. Go to Vets for Child Rescue, support our mission, buy new merch. We got fantastic new shirts. We got operators retiring from military law enforcement every day that want to be part of our organization and help. And we've got new merch that people can show their support. This is a new one. It's blue and white. If you want that on the back of your diaper bag or something, if you don't want tactical colors, the ladies, the new desert, tactical colors, SWAT team black and gray, traditional military olive drab. All these are PVC patches. They're pretty cool. You can get those on our website. Help support the Christians and Patriots at Vets for Child Rescue so we can take down more predators, save more children, alert more of the populace, and create a healthier, safer, more productive environment for children, and just make this world a better place. All right? That's all I've got. Thanks, you guys. God bless. We'll see you.